You
now,
bet.
Now you are. I'm Bob Driscoll, and I am 60 years old, and I'm about to retire, despite what you see here.
Do you think I should turn this on now?
See if there's any battery to it.
Oh, there's...
Oh, they got a chrome picture. Great.
How are you?
Check the gear on that.
Oh, this is starting to sound like a classic Driscoll party. Let's see. Oh.
See, Dad, here it is.
Oh, and they got one of me in Greece. That's pretty awesome.
You know, no one's gonna...
What is it?
I'm not talking to you.
Oh, the biggest fraud in the world.
It's really good. I know. Isn't that fun?
Oh, they got an old radio.
You fell for it, Mom. It's so glad you
An old fatty on a moped going through.
It's not really checking her glasses. He almost gave her a heart attack on the way up here.
But we all get points, right? Oh, you get big points.
Okay. Gotta get on the other side. Oh, look. Nell's in this shot again. I gotta get my eyes checked. There's Uncle Bell.
Expect you're a joke. I had to think it was a joke.
Oh, look, there's Margaret's competition.
No, really?
Oh, there's Annie. Annie's going to spot the camera. This is Bill's been in almost every shot so far. This is Margaret trying to talk as much as she can before Nell shows up. Oh, Margaret's really an idiot.
This one gives a second.
Talking about nuns, it's a little for that. You know, so far, Uncle. All right. Uncle Eddie on a cat. There's Uncle Bill again. Annie's sucking up.
Forget it.
Yeah, you exercise good enough.
Oh, I'm sorry. Great.
Oh, we did. You did. Oh, yes.
She managed to get just about everything.
That's a pretty tough group.
There's a whole
Great, good trade. I'm going to introduce myself to your kids. I haven't seen them since the wedding.
Yeah, that's what my mother said.
That's what I was Try it. If you don't like it.
In this. Try to take really just sits crazy. And can I say, give you some suggestions?
But of course Robert was accepted. Of course the Scullys were great friends of Mother and Daddy's, and they produced around the same time. And their youngest was called Peter, and Daddy was the godfather. And anyhow.
And her obstetrician's name was Schwartz.
But you could dress. Days were up there for the weekend, and they sat on the porch fanning themselves in the time when they finally found her. Well, there was just so many things. But one thing I might add is that how Bucci got his name, and that was because Neri Kilkenny always called Scabooch, my little Scabooch. And that is sort of an Irish term of endearment, my little cabbage, where we thought our babies came from. Oh, I can nose for you, Brussels sprouts for you. So she called him, and then she came in to take care of Butch when he was small, and they'd asked her to come back to the Globe for a while, and she said, what do you call him? Oh, he's a darling. She said, what do you call him? I said, Scabooch. You used to call Robin that when he was a baby. She said, oh, I never heard of the name. That's a crazy name. By that time, it stuck, and that became Bucci. But Daddy, who loved Maurice Walsh, only his favorite author, put it that way, and indeed, Scabooch was in Maurice Walsh's. So it's a term like mon petit
We
chou
can look up
from
Scabooch. We can look up Scabooch.
That's okay.
So I'm going to close on this note. One of my favorite images of Robin, when he was small, and he was adorable. We all
He was.
Every night before he went to bed, Daddy would sit him on his knee and he'd say, why do I love you? Why do I love you? Yeah, the office. We all do.
All right, go ahead. We go each reading for the book.
His picture of John Lyon. Excuse me, lying. Oh yeah, lying to his wife. Look at his face. Oh, big lie.
How much bigger? In just the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, look at how much bigger John's got.
Oh, you're waiting for
Yeah, Daddy. Okay, before the next round, we just want to show everybody the cake that Jeffrey!
Is that not good news?
Yay, Jay!
Jeffrey, get
Oh look, the back of Ann's head.
Annie, move.
That's okay.
Yay, Jay! My twin!
Hey, sure.
I can remember when you were born. And then the biggest thing of all I remember is we had a negligent woman
We were supposed to take care of Robin up in New Hampshire, and he disappeared. Well, let me tell you, all hell broke loose because we were
Sunday morning.
Gray's chippy. And we couldn't find him anywhere. And there was great and teeth and all that sort of stuff, and he showed up.
Well, no.
And he got a dog.
That's great.
I have nothing more to say.
Well,
Superfluous. Big words.
That Sunday
Big words.
Yale words.
Yep. Look at that stomach.
Remember I come back, I'd been contrite, in love with life and all
Yale.
that kind of stuff. I
I
was too
think
young
I
at the
have
time.
a mental wipeout, because I don't...
I'm sitting, I'm not gonna steal my chair.
Oh my God.
It's the general.
We just skipped to page 9.
Let the roast begin.
Bill, be quiet.
Oh, the little brother.
Your offspring invited us to fetch you, which we think is fun. You bet you. That's Sandy's line. Remember you your birthday? We certainly would doubt it. But Howardsport recalls that day. There's just no doubt about it. In a truly democratic gesture, we all voted on your name.
Chester.
Your granddad was the pollster. Majority votes Robert was the claim. And that was so, that was real.
Yeah, it was.
Keep going. Robert changed to Robin, and Robin chirped tingling tea. The siblings helped Mom on her thesis. Soon Booby, nay Robert, turned 3. The kid trees supplanted the seashore. High pines and the gardens were home. Our hero caused memorable drama when his search of his da, he did roam. You remember that? When in search of his da, he did roam. He grew, he thrived, and he witnessed elder brothers, their teenage anxieties. He then watched sisters cavorting and learned of their wondrous proprieties. After the wedding, we leaned down to kiss you. 10 years later, we stood on our toes. At weddings, anniversaries, and christenings, we saw you. Our families continued to grow. Now, at last, in grateful thanksgiving, we can think of the times we've had and celebrate this present occasion, also past and future. We're glad, though there's one admonition from Sheila, whispering hope beyond ragtime swell. But honk horns to show you love Jesus, that doesn't go over too well. So clean up your act, dearest brother. Yes, play piano and do sing songs. As to writing them, forget it at present, and instead bring tidings along. One more verse.
Time!
Our gift to you is remembrance, glory days with fervor and might, barefoot boy of brilliant endeavors, sparkling eyes, and all righteous and right.
Save the paper. Auntie Kathy's in the corner.
Sheila has to save the paper.
Now, there's a card. All right. I'm going to do this very quickly, or else Sheila's going to hit me.
Ripped it.
Came back from this was right after I came back from being lost.
But we have a money tree outside.
Got bucks. Oh, Driscoll-Stamatis would die.
Whether you like it or no, you may not.
Don't gotta get a case or anything.
And the spaghetti doesn't show.
You're getting close.
Got a problem with that.
To what?
Spaghetti.
That's a 7 5/8 long oval, that's fine. Automotive note. Oh. And this, what do you have? What a caballero. Caballero. And your dear wife is trying to get a reduction in the assessment on the house in Watchhill because of that big park. With me, I have the papers for the car that you purchased for $300. Bill of sale enclosure A. This is to the Division of Taxation.
1979 Malibu station.
Yes.
Highest price ever
And
paid.
they claimed it was worth $2,250. That's right. And you said it was worth $300. There was a big discrepancy. And this is all of the correspondence he had to try and get the state of Rhode Island to come down. The car is still up in a ditch in Ridgeway. Where are the keys? Yeah, you look into that. You'll get a reduction, all right. The second automotive thing that I wanted, we're all reminiscing about when you were younger and so forth. And this has a word that is not a bad word in a sense, armor or something. But my friend Dixon Bogart White had a motorcycle, and we were about 16 or 17 years old at the time. And I drove the motorcycle home one day, and Dixie had it called Dixie's Corn Popper, and on the front of it, he had painted a mermaid. So I rolled up, and Lars Soderberg had his hog, and we parked him. Big guys, you didn't have tattoos. We had
Big muscle shirts.
cigarettes here, that kind of thing. And Robin and Ellen Maloney and the Virginia McCullough. I'll tell the story. You keep going.
Just reminding you.
But at any rate, I see Robin over there, and I see the two girls beside him, and then I hear him say, as he points, "That's what the fellas call tits."
Could hear him today.
Left him. Right in the front there.
That wasn't seven.
Now I heard Liz complain about there wasn't enough picture framing and hanging on the walls at your lovely house down there. So I have this of you adjusting my tie. You must have been in the years that I was assigned. And there's a picture of you, and we all wondered what Harry Annie Ward looked like.
Everybody's crazy.
I'll pass that around. Now I need the help of my son Jeffrey, because I don't think you have this in your house.
Jeffrey the baker.
But if I could hear you say just one time.
Jeff the chef.
All right, come out here and just say that one word.
Yes, yes.
Oh my! Uncle Tim. This is our great Uncle Tim. And there's Uncle, and there's Sheila, and there's Phil, and Eddie, and you were right here, Rob. I think you ought to put that over your mantelpiece. Say it once more.
Uncle Tim was a veteran of the GAR and the Union. States. There he is, had a little tea.
Everybody wants to see Uncle again. That'll go on the piano. Last thing that I have.
She shoved you out of the way.
Quiet, you ladies.
Yeah, Annie.
Sheila, can you take that up after hours?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm embarrassed.
Program to move along smartly. The last thing
They're gonna do it
is
smartly. What
the
is he doing?
only known copy to exist of this, and the list, Sheila, was supposed to be longer, much longer, but somebody in this room got most of the stuff that was listed on the original poster that went around. If Eddie hadn't gotten everything that's in there, here are the contents of the country garden. Saturday the 13th, 1977 in Deering, New Hampshire, the contents of the house.
All gone.
It was called a country estate. That's your heritage, and it would have been a hell of a lot longer. Congratulations and best luck in whatever you're doing.
I'm available for light hauling a week from Monday.
Is there any yellow blanket?
That was the...
All right, next generation.
Oh, Sean's got to
So, Billy Driscoll was supposed to come, and we were supposed to do the 70s.
He's an ass.
Salute Uncle Boo in the 70s, and you're lucky that Billy didn't make it, because his idea was that he was going to dress up like Nell. He was going to reenact the Junior Yacht Club dance where Uncle Boo embarrassed Nell to no end by dancing like this in front of all the kids. And Billy's idea was to get everyone to dance like Uncle Boo. But he didn't make it here, so we sort of left without anything to do. So, like all Driscolls, when we don't have anything prepared, we're just going to give an award. We could have given an award. We could have given an award for, like, you know, well, for best dancing, for telling a joke the most often in the decade of the 70s, which would have been what joke, Jeffrey?
The most famous joke of the 70s would have been...
Nice to meet you. And we're going to get an award, and it cost a lot of money, and we were going to get it etched, engraved. But we didn't. It cost us so much we didn't have engraving money. So we'll have to engrave it later. It's really for most best-eaten cups in the back of a category. It's for best article. That's what it's for. Best article.
Oh, Shawnee's pickle.
So now can we get a break for coffee and ice cream?
Break.
No, we're going to do that after.
Oh, have to get the wide angle lens. Margaret, you're blocking that table. Get out of the way.
You ready to sound the horn again? No, but she's got to go remove the broccoli from between her teeth. So.
Nell's going to sing.
Barf.
So I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the memories over Dad's life in his in his 50s.
Good, she's nervous. Good, she's nervous too.
Look, she's having the baby.
Stop.
Just talk about me.
Miss Robin, Bob, Obie, and Boo, but his 50s brought new names to you-know-who. Father-in-law, stepfather, and most of all, Da. All these new roles to fill for our dear old Pa. With names came new faces to make any man proud. Liz or Betty, Kristen, Dink, Michael, Sanderson, John, Charles, Figaro, Doug, Gillian, and Lydia Loud. But that's not the end. There are more faces to add. Mac, Boo, Jack, John, and David. If that's not enough change to swell anyone's head, try figuring out where he now lays his head. Gone is the Wickiup, more roads, nothing but dust. Shoreby's his home now, Wigwam is a bust. With all the joy came great losses to bear, Ganna and Alice, Phil and Ma Mare. A decade of changes, full of life's ups and life's downs. The next decade will have more, hopefully all in good bounds. His girls have all graduated, Kutzi's neck is in one piece. May retirement bring you calm, and on life a good lease.
Now, Margaret,
No, now it's Nell.
let's see you take a bow.
Margaret, take a roll.
I'm really nervous about this because we should be
Oh, you look it, you look
I
it.
should be in this crowd. First of all, this is a very tough act to follow. We're watching.
Mine.
I know.
Hey, Nell.
And
Nell.
I'm sweated about this. What?
Think about what I told you.
Well, my teeth are on the toilet. What did you
I told her just
picture everyone on
picture everybody sitting on a toilet.
That's the best. And I tried to be funny. I tried desperately. Thank you.
Start off with a joke now.
Just get on with it.
Hey, Johnny.
That was Cecil
John, that was it. She's done. All right, now, come on.
Give me a break.
All right.
Dad, I've been trying to figure out what to say about you in the last 10 years. And originally I thought it'd be easy because I don't really remember the first 4. But as I look back, there are so many ups and downs to go through, besides the fact that if I did, I'd be up here longer than Eddie and Bill combined. Since you first approached me in November of '89 about my little problem, for those of you who don't know my drinking problem.
No one knew.
I know, I could have a belt right now. Our relationship has changed and grown to a depth I never imagined we'd share. It's truly amazing what a bond a little cocktail can give us, or the lack thereof. I've become a confidant, a mentor, an advisor, and a silent hero, and above all, a father. Not to mention a dog. See, I know I was going to do this. Okay. It was no accident that my first son was named after you. Every time I say Robert Michael in that voice, it allows me to wonder what Anna used to say to you. And it kind of, it makes me proud. That's my son. And yes, he's baby Boo and you're baby Boo. But that's where it ends, because David's family will never let me call him Booby or Obi. And he loves his job. I just want everybody to know this story. When Boo first saw the '85 El Camino with the tinted windows, and the tinted windows, Boo was, oh wow, wow! Every time he sees it, the boy begs and begs for a ride, and in retirement, he'll have plenty. And back.
Proves it's genetic.
What? I know. And Mac just sucks you up. When she sees you now, as opposed to a few months ago, she lights up like the little princess that you so lovingly call. When I watch you with them, part of me relives my childhood, laughing and playing and worshiping the ground my daddy walked on. I knew I was going to do this. It's my mother's already. And when David entered my life a few years ago, you welcomed him, never once making an issue over the fact that he had 2 ex-wives, or 4 children, or almost your age. There's another 4. He's recovering cocaine addict. You accepted him, and in turn, you accepted her living in sin and all that ancillary stuff. And to top it all off, when he asked your permission for us to marry, you gave us 100% support, which meant a lot. And you never once blinked or balked at the news that we plan to do this in only 5 weeks. Let me just end with a thank you for what you've become to me, and mostly for what I've become. Without your love, your patience, and your guidance, Dad, I'm not sure I'd be standing here.
Did you know all that? Did you know all that about Dave?
No. Dear Uncle Bill, did you know all that about Dave? They do now.
It's on tape now, too.
Well, I also like Nellie Payne about what I could say in a brief time about the last 10 years. And of course, all the things pop up. The broken neck, big one, big one. And every gray hair on Dad's head, I know why it's there. And so does he. So, but one of the things I wanted to say is, when I did break my neck, I was kind of in and out of it, obviously. And at Burlington, I knew that the family had been notified. And I was sitting, strapped onto a board in the emergency room. And I remember Dad and Mom coming in, and them both just holding my hand. And at that moment, because I'm shaking and nervous, I thought that I was going to die. And I felt like it. And I remember looking up and seeing both their faces looking down at me. And just Dad holding my hand. And it made me be very happy that I was alive. Didn't know what was coming, but I was happy to be alive. And that alone, amongst everything else, just wanted to say I love you, and that moment made me really learn how to live, and also gave me the strength to go on with whatever was coming. And so, Daddy, to you I give my St. Lawrence diploma. And my grades.
On the broken neck thing, going up to the hospital in Burlington to see Coochie and to kind of see what was going on. We got the call in the middle of the night that Coochie was in trouble and where she'd be and so forth. So Margaret and I hauled us out in the car with Annie. And on the way up, just to show you how siblings have wavelengths that all of us in this room have experienced to one degree or another. Annie said, I'll bet I know what she said. The last thing she said before she was around. I said, oh, what was that? You were just idly driving till 5:30 in the morning mist and so forth, moving up toward Burlington. Annie said, I know what it was. She said, oh, shit.
We asked her first thing in the hospital, what'd you say?
Eileen's best.
Eileen's best. Well, this is actually a little survival kit for Dad for retirement, based on the past decade and some of the stories you've just heard. And there are a couple of things in here that we want Liz to put out in the morning. And Daddy's feeling like retirement life is just a little bit too quiet and too sane for him. The first thing that we want Liz to do is put the wet towel from the shower on the floor. And the next thing is to take all the socks and a couple of pieces of dirty clothes and put them in the guest room. I don't know, Coochie and I have been around. And just got to sneak down to the refrigerator. And you've got to put this back with only half a spoonful of ice cream back in the freezer.
Just to remind me of who's been there.
Right, just to remind who's been there. And when that doesn't work, here's the spoon for digging out all the cookies from the cookies and cream. So that's
Beautiful.
and then to put on the kitchen table, first we have all of the bills from Westerly Hospital, Canton Hospital, Burlington Hospital, St. Lawrence University, Trinity College, we've got Sarah Lawrence University, we've got an MCI bill from Egypt that still hasn't been paid.
This is the long distance call you made while you were over here.
Yeah, the one to Old Lyme.
Yeah, the old
The
line
one to
call.
Old Lyme.
That's another little local story. On the phone bill, which I used to scrutinize, obviously, when they came in, there was a line item for a $13 phone call to Old Lyme from Westerly. Old Lyme isn't that far. So it must have been a 5 days worth of conversation. And when Catherine was quizzed about it, she said, "Oh no, Annie made that. Annie, that's Annie's friend,
Liz,
Liz.
or Liz and Over.
But Annie was in Egypt that year, so. I leave it up to you as to who really did it.
And I think there were a couple of letters in here from a man named Most Famous George about an attitude you had on New Year's Eve in 1988.
Our guide in Egypt.
George. And another one from a man named Ahmed about the fact that you've married off Margaret even though you already traded for 4 camels. I think he's a little upset about that. No, I was 4,000, she was 4. So these are all actually for Liz, just to put out if Daddy ever feels like, just to recreate the past decade for my father, should he start feeling a little bit too cushy and comfortable. And then these are the Post-it notes that you have to put down
I
there.
always want to make sure. Oh, you did what?
Yes, I
Oh, is that? That'll go right in the truck. Oh, I know it. Well, you tried, dear. Lose the cabinet. No.
Oh, all right.
Uh-oh.
Here's the poem. Thank God they stayed in your
When have you been doing this?
You're finding out all kinds of things.
Remember way back in 1995 when some of you all to Old Shoreby did arrive? I said that I thought that I would never ever see a jet as lovely as my RMD. He had just promised to love, honor, and obey, staying away each and every day. Going from 6:30 to 5, I heard him declare, bumbling around New London and Groton, he could swear. Going from 6:30 to about 5, this was the schedule on which I could thrive. Be out of sight, but not out of mind. Ha! How quickly he left those dear words behind. One small offer from the brasses at EB, and he quickly succumbed, saying, "That's it for me." Oh, no. Oh, whoa. From 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. he'll be home, and I, a closet loner, no longer alone. He'll be around each night and day underfoot. Tell me, dear friends, shall I call the Thorntons and give him the foot? How awful, how dreadful is my iambic pentameter. Quick, oh quick, can you find me a grand editor?
Well done.
Aunt Eileen couldn't be here today. She sent this to you through the mail, and Nell has a story she wants to share about.
How to stay out of the house. No, when we were very young. The note that Eileen has with it says, Dear Robin, my first memory of you goes back to Deering in the late 1930s, where in the living room with the fire blazing, the kerosene lamps lit, and the Boston rockers rocking. You're sitting snuggled close to Phil, who, having cast aside for the moment his veneer of Cambridge School sophistication, is reading to you the adventures of Christopher Robin. Were you thinking that it was Aunt Alice acting as escort to the changing of the guards at Buckingham Palace? Who knows? Little did any of us know when I was thinking at the time, except that as memory puts itself together in my mind's eye, you both were adorable. The enclosed is for the creation of much more such memories with your ever-growing brood of grandchildren. They'll miss the thrill of the kerosene lamps on wobbly tables and the ineffable aroma of Crowley cheese with Manhattan cocktails, but they'll know the very best of love and traditions that surround them. Buona festa e baci di Roma, Eileen. That's it.
I don't want me.
Don't want me. Some people call it retirement. I prefer to think of it as a permanent vacation. Enjoy. That's cool. Very nice. Untrue, but
My sentiments there.
all you other old duffers who are retired, I'm joining your ranks.
We'll get you on the legs, Bob.
Smoke the grass. Got the old ball around. You son of a gun.
Gillian says she saw the new car.
2 days after I had gotten the car, I got Shep Simmons on to watch over. I checked over now. Gillian drives by, all nosy. And she's on the phone immediately to Liz saying, why is Robin's car in the garage?
It's gonna be there all Okay. As you know, there's a new issue has crept up in the Driscoll residence, that being automotive. I was surprised that old thing had a receipt had a $300. That's the most you've ever paid.
I got the paperwork right here.
How did you pay that off?
Long time.
So anyway, you have to read the card first. This is
from Senor Roberto of Tres Corpaderos. We were going to get you fuzzy dice, but as soon as we saw this, we knew it was just the thing for the Caballero. Oh! The colors are so
Oh, wait till baby Boo sees
Gillian asked me, do you think he'll be offended? I said, no, he drives a Cavallero.
You can hang that with that. That pinata, just to get rid of it, right?
I'm never breaking this thing. This is not going to be a pinata.
It's easy to tip over. It is a pinata. What does he say?
Let her tell you the story.
Show's almost over, but this is a little something from everybody here.
Oh,
It's for everyone here, but mostly for me.
Tony said, but what is it? It's a box.
Tissue.
I was just looking at Frank this morning and thinking that, you know, I've got to dig out. Unbelievable. Oh,
great.
super Oh, unbelievable. Oh,
What's on the top? What's on the top?
yeah, I know the signatures. Yeah, but what a great job he did, including Betty's. Oh, lovely. Oh,
Yeah, it's
well,
only married.
can I say you now or?
No, I gotta.
No, we're on a tape. We gotta go.
I gotta bust.
I'm gonna have my 60 years.
Of ice cream?
Of ice cream, yes. Among you all has been a real trip, and it still is. It continues to be every day. Thick and thin, high and low. You are terrific people. You taught me a lot about life, and we'll continue to. And as far as my retirement from EB goes, that's only a small milestone reached, but it will enable me to have more time with all of you. I'll do something else in the days coming. I don't know what it will be, but I'll be available for light hauling. I'll park cars up at Clarksville. But at any rate, you are terrific. You surprised me. Everybody, this was a total surprise. And I'm glad that we had the judge of the state of Rhode Island set up this subterfuge. I can't get up on the bench at her and say what a mean she is. But thank you. And I will see you with many more family members who are terrific people, and I wouldn't know what I have done without them. Thank you all.
Tell us what happened in Egypt.
Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray!
Join in those? No.
Yeah, no. Right, our oldest has something to say to thank the girls. Remember, Ed?
already.
No, I just wanted to say thank you all and you girls for absolutely wonderful. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
I know.
I love it.
That could swing off the front.
Just a dollar.